moves. Doobie don't snooze. It's on your back, cause they hate you. Dog break through, son get through. But I'm break.
What's up, people? We have another episode. Parlay with us, man. You got Stacks, you got Crooks. I guess we're gonna go with hustling with the Crooks for now, man. We're supposed to get Beans at some point, but it's gonna be hustling with the Crooks for now. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna dive in the championship game last Monday, and then we're gonna go do some NBA talk. The NBA playoffs is upon us. We're gonna talk about possible matchups, teams that may be dangerous in the playoffs. But yeah, man, what's going on, Stacks, man? How are you, man?
Shit, man, chilling, man. Everything good. How about you?
Yo, everything good, man. It's about to get nice now, man. We're going from a crazy March Madness into a crazy NBA playoffs, man. Because I know it's gonna be some craziness in the NBA playoffs this year, man. I could feel it, man. You know.
Yeah, I believe so too. I believe it's gonna be some craziness. It's gonna be some tight, barring health. Hopefully, everybody's healthy. But yeah, I think it's gonna be crazy too.
Exactly, man. Barring everybody's healthy, man. Hope everybody goes into the playoff healthy. We don't want to hear any excuses. This team is lucky that these guys wasn't there and that guy wasn't there. We don't want to hear nothing. This is going to be a playoffs that there's going to be no excuses. You know, whoever comes out on top, man, is going to be that team. So, yeah, man, let's start off with the championship last Monday, man. You know, we had a great NCAA March Madness championship. We had Florida, we had Houston. It was an up and down game. Houston had control throughout, but in the last 7 minutes, it was a tight game back and forth. Florida prevailed, like they've been doing the last couple of games they played in, because they had a Sweet 16 down. It seemed like the whole tournament Florida had to come back and pull out the win, right?
Yeah, the whole tournament they've been coming back and pulling out wins. That's why I felt that like these cats, Houston had to be careful with messing with them like that. But you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn. I mean, they probably watched the film, I guess, but then you live and you learn. Florida came back and did the same thing to them. So, and then it's crazy because they lost the game just the way they beat Duke. You know what I'm saying? So right. It's wild how they lost that game.
Yeah, it was wild, man. But it's like they got cold too for a little bit. During that Florida run, they got cold. I felt like they should have had a play. They made a three that was, to me, that was crucial. And I think with that three, they went up 6. But then Florida came back and had an N1 and brought it back down to 3. So Florida was on that ass that last 7-8 minutes. I mean, they couldn't break away to a point where they could have managed it all the way down, where they would have been the ones getting fouled. Florida was just too much on their ass, and Houston had to be perfect down the stretch. They were there, but man, that one possession, man, where it was tied and Florida went up 2, and then Houston had to come through. They turned the ball over. So they had 2 opportunities. They turned the ball over in one possession. And then the second possession, as you can see, what ended the game, they couldn't get a shot off. So they had opportunities. That's why you can't, as somebody who's back in Houston, you can't be too upset. And the bettors, you can't be too upset because they had those opportunities. It wasn't like, that Duke call was controversial. Those Duke backers, that foul call was very controversial. That was
that was very controversial.
Yeah,
so it was very controversial.
Right. So it was hard to accept that loss, But with this one, all them Houston backers, what can you do? They had 2 opportunities, man, and it was a clear turnover on that possession where they had to score. They had to, take the lead, and it might have been the difference. So. And the game turned out to be the way I called it. I mean, we all called it. It was kind of a toss up. The Vegas felt the same way because it was a 1 point. I think Florida was a 1-point favorite, so it was just a back and forth. Who was gonna have the ball last? Who was gonna turn it over? And it turned out to be that type of game, man. You know.
Yeah, that shit was wild, man. The last 4 possessions of the game, they don't score. Now, last 4 possessions, they don't even get a shot up.
They don't even get a shot up, man. So it was bad on them. Man, and you know, it's easy to say, and we spoke about it. Easier said than done, but man, when you have my man in the air, that's one of those, like, you just jump into that dude, you're getting 3 foul shots, man. But you know, is he thinking that way? I don't think so, you know. But if you think about it, like you say, he didn't expect him to be coming flying like that because he was really trying to shoot that ball.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times you see players expecting that, and then they try to draw that foul. You know, I mean, I don't know if they brought that to him. I don't know if the play called it. Look, you know, we're gonna run this play. You're gonna pump fake it. If you do not get a clear shot, you pump fake it. You catch him in the air, you get that foul. Like, I don't know if that's something that they talk about in the huddle.
Yeah, that. I mean, you don't talk about that in the huddle. That's just like a basketball play that you just know to do that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell them you just draw the foul. But I think my man is. If you look at the play, Clayton was under the basket. Like, he was under the basket. He had this lost track of Sharp. So when Sharp caught that ball, like, man, I never seen a closeout that fast. Like he closed out that fast. He kind of surprised him. I still thought he could have got the shot off. He could have put a little bit more arc on it, I thought. But yo, man, that whole sequence was just a breakdown in the lapse of execution on Houston's fault, man. They got nobody to blame but themselves, man, on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And had he got that shot off, maybe an offensive rebound, they had time. It was time on that clock.
Yeah,
man,
that's what I'm saying. It was time. If he gets that shot up, it's time.
Or there would have been time if you know, if Florida would have rebounded and you fouled him right away.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and hope for that a missed free throw where they could come back and tie it. But it was just, man, to end the game that way, it was tough, man, to watch, man. And I feel for Sampson, man. He just stood there. He was just in such disbelief, like, man, I can't believe this happened.
Like, that shit got stolen. That's what he looked like. Looked like somebody stole some shit from him. That's exactly what he looked like, stolen.
Yep, he had that exact expression on his face, like, man, the game was just taken away from them, man. They had control throughout the whole game. They played such a great game, and I expected them to play that game, and it was low scoring. They, you know, at halftime, it was up by 3. They had Florida right where they wanted them, man. Clayton, they held them scoreless. What more can you ask for, man?
Yeah.
You hold Clayton scoreless, and I said, man, I just had a feeling that if Florida made a run, he was definitely going to hit some shots.
Yeah,
those 11 points, they came
huge. They were huge because those most of the points he got were big buckets, man.
Yes, huge buckets. I mean, he made a 3 down the stretch, and he had 2 and 1s. He had 2 and 1s, man. That was clutch because those and 1s kept them within a possession. You know, Houston will go up 6. Houston will go up 5, 4. And then here he come down with the and 1, bring it down to 2, bring it down to 3, everything was just one possession. And Houston had to be perfect, man. And just, man, I'm telling you, those 2 plays did them in, man. They had 2 opportunities. They can't be mad, man. You had your opportunities, man. You know, you didn't capitalize, man. You know, shout out to Florida, man. That was the story of the tournament for them, man. You know, they were down. They was down a few games. They was down against was they down against they was down against UConn. They was down against Texas Tech. Texas Tech had them, man.
You had them. That
had them. I mean, if there was anything that had them, it was definitely Texas Tech, man.
Texas Tech might be sicker than Houston. You know what I'm saying?
They have to be sicker than Houston because the thing with Texas Tech, they was that team. They was aggressive. They was scoring. They was going to the basket. They was doing everything you don't want a team to do against you, especially if you're trying to make that run. They was just getting it, man. But Florida, man, Clayton got hot. he got really hot. That's what happened with that game. He got really hot. Texas Tech, they turned the ball over. That's the story for them in that game. They turned the ball over a few times, and in critical moments, they just went on a little drought, and then Clayton just came back, man. But yeah, they were down Texas Tech, down here with Houston. Man, that was a story of the tournament for them, man. And I mean, they pulled it out, man. They pulled it out, and they did it in a way that they're not known to doing it, because they didn't score much. They was struggling. Houston's defense was playing their game, slow pace, low scoring. They had them right where they had them, wanted them, and Florida pulled it out, man. Shout out to them, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Gators, man. Shout out to the Gators, man. I mean, that's a good group of guys, well coached. That coach put that team together to do what they just did. I mean, they had a great group of role players, couples, and really one star. And that was it, man. And they put that team together, and they made a run. And I never seen a team have so many lives as them, as far as taking leads and blowing leads and coming back on teams. I think that might be a record as far as a team coming back. Goddamn, 3 games in a row. Yeah. So that's wild right there.
Yeah, 3 games in a row, man. And for them to be consistent with it, shout out to them, man. I mean, they capitalized on the other team scoring drought. The other teams had droughts. They couldn't score. They was feeling the pressure, and they came through in the pressure. That's what good teams do. They that little space where the team ain't really making moves, and here they come, man, because they were down 11. They shot a 3, down 8. I think they made another. They had a couple of threes, man, but once they got that down to like 5, Houston knew, man, that look, it's about to get real out here. And shout out to Florida, man. They wasn't scoring when they was expected to, but when they needed to, man, they came through, man. And
they sure did, man.
That's what good teams do.
Yep, that's what great teams do, man. I mean, shout out to Florida. I mean, they deserve that national championship. I mean, they put in work to get that one. There was no lucky lock of the draw. They had to go out and get that national championship. It wasn't given to them.
Yeah, it wasn't given to them. They had to go get it, man. They had to dig deep. And man, a hell of a season for them, man. Watch out for them next year. I don't know, what the turnover is going to be on that squad, but they definitely gonna be a team to be looking out for, man. There's gonna be a lot of teams to be looking out for, man. So, but hey, shout out to Florida, man. Yo, we about to shift to the NBA, man. Oh man, I want to talk about that win in New York. We've had that. Yo, listen, let me tell you something. I hope with Tatum's doing. I hope. I mean, a star to me was born, I'll say, a couple of seasons ago. I know what Tatum is capable of in crunch time. I seen him step it up in Game 6 against Milwaukee, Game 7 against Miami. Oh, against Philly. And Miami. I seen this guy come through time and time again, and that 3 he made in New York on the road, to me, was huge for a guy like him that got that chip on his shoulders. They don't talk about him much. They was talking. They spoke about it on. And look, Gilbert Arenas, he made a great point. I don't like Gilbert Arenas. He was talking a lot of trash about us, in years past. I got kind of a personal with that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like Gilbert Arenas. But he made a great point, and he named all the players in the past that were face of the league, and they resume at the age of 26, championship, all-star appearances, those type of accolades. And Tatum fits right in. Same age, 26, NBA championship, multiple All-Stars, first team. I think he won a gold medal, right?
Yeah.
He fit all of that. And Gilbert Arenas said he's the face of the team. Him and Giannis is the face of the team, because that was a debate. Who's the face of the team? And he was making a point that Tatum is the face of the team, a face of the league. I'm sorry, face of the league with Giannis. But the only thing is, he's like a quiet guy. They don't push him. They don't push him to be that person.
Yeah.
And you know what? What I like about Tatum, I don't think he really cares. I don't think he really cares. I think what he's doing, I think he's taking it out on the court. And what he's going to do is he's going to force people to talk about him. And he knows this championship run this year, defending the title, I think he's gonna make some noise. And he was happy for his man last year that won the MVP, and he deserved it. JB deserved it. I'm glad JB got that. Because what JB was doing early in those playoffs, I think that game when that 3-pointer he made against the Pacers, that was huge. That was
huge.
Crazy.
He shot that
huge.
Shit.
And I thought Boston was dead in the water, but that was game one.
Yeah, that was game one. I thought they were dead in the water too.
I thought they were dead in the water. And you don't know what that loss would have done to that team going forward, because the Pacers was a dangerous team. That team really brought it to us, man. We really had to earn that series win. That team wasn't playing around. But that 3 he made, and all those other clutch shots he made, even though it was the NBA Finals, I think his impact on that championship run got him that MVP. I think Tatum's like, you know what? I gotta show these people I'm not a one game star, because that's what it was with him, man. It's like he'll have a good game, then he'll disappear. He was kind of inconsistent. That was the thing with Tatum, man. He'll show up for this game and not show up for that game. But I think this playoff run, he's on a personal vendetta against everybody, and I think this playoff run, he's gonna force everybody to mention him as the top player in the league. We win another title, MVP. Tatum's gonna be the man.
Yeah, I agree. I think it can even furthermore stamp that shit, because JB's hurt. That knee is bothering him. I mean,
yes, man. Yes, it is
bothering him. So Tatum's gonna have to carry a lot of load. I mean, I still feel confident the road will be a lot harder without JB. Absolutely, but I just think the key is Porzingis. Porzingis got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, even with JB injured, if JB can give us 50% here and there, I still think we can make a run. I still really do think we can make a run. It's gonna be it's gonna be Porzingis and somebody off that bench. I don't know who it's gonna be. You know, it's always some weirdness in the playoffs where you find that one guy that comes in and gives you a great game here and there, kind of like Miami did with the Gabe Vincent. I mean, we got Gabe Vincent paid. I mean, when that series against us.
Yep, Gabe Vincent. We
got Gabe Vincent paid. 3. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, sit JB out. Let him rest that knee. I don't care about the 65 games, but just let him rest that knee to the playoffs, man.
Yes, man, you hit the nail right on the head, man. Porzingis, it's his turn, because we carried him last playoffs. He gave us all he got, but we had a healthy JB, Tatum, Drew Holiday, White. We had those guys that, they was on fire, and we had enough horsepower to kind of like cover for Porzingis. Although he came through for us, he gave us a great game one. That game one was huge. He gave us a good game one, and I think he gave us another good game. He gave us 2 good games that was huge for us, man. And now I think it's his turn now to give us more of those games to cover for JB in this case, where his knees is ailing him. You know, it really is. And like you said, man, they need to rest him. You know, let him just sit out pretty much for the rest of the season. Come into the playoffs as healthy as he can, and hopefully, you know, that it's the same roster coming back. So hopefully we can only get better with experience. Everybody know their spots. Everybody know what championship basketball is about. Now we got other guys that need to step it up. And I think Pritchard too. I
agree.
Pritchard he's gonna be, you know, I think he's gonna be that scorer, man, that's gonna help us. And it's gonna cover for JB's production, you know, where we may manage those productions. And look, man, I'm so confident in Missoula. Missoula's he's man, I tell you, man, I've been having love for Missoula from day one, man. Like you're talking about a guy that's real smart. He knows the game. He played the game. And I'm confident that he knows how to manage this team. He knows what he got. He gives all his players a lot of confidence. They believe in him. I mean, when you got players that believe in their coach, man, you get a lot out of these players. You get a lot out of these players that they didn't know they had. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the coach instilling that confidence in them. So this is going to be a very interesting run for us. And a lot of teams that's on that back-to-back, that second year, trying to go back-to-back, you know, it's challenging, T. You know what I'm saying? Like it is, you know, it's always an element missing that they didn't have the first championship run. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, but it's going to show the championship pedigree in these teams.
Yeah, it's going to. And I think the league is, like I said, if everybody's healthy, man, it's going to be a great playoff. I mean, they got a lot of living up to catch up. This March Madness was a good March Madness. It really was. The Final Four was excellent. You couldn't ask for a better Final Four as far as the playing, as far as teams playing against each other and competing. Like those games were all good games. Like you like, damn, this is some great games. I say the NBA, they got a lot to catch up because colleges they blaze the path for them. Like, can you compete with this now? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and it's nice how they set it up. You know, once they're done, boom, the playoffs is the following week. So, you know, hey, shout out to David Burns, man. Thanks for coming through, man. You know, listening to our, you know, breakdown of these games, man. Shout out to David Burns, man.
I'll be shed a tear for
you
shed a tear for Luka last night. Y'all seen?
Yeah, I'm sure he did, man. Because Luka was, he was teary-eyed, man. We tell you, right, man. But man, rightfully so, man. I mean, man, he got everything he deserved yesterday. It was out of his control, man. It was everybody.
That is a bad trade, dog. I'm sorry. I don't care when nobody says Stoney. I don't make that move. I don't make that move.
Hell no, I don't make that move. Because if I feel like his conditioning ain't right, I'm gonna work on that. Because
but Stoney, conditioning. Who got better conditioning, him or Jokic? About the same. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear Denver talking about moving Jokic.
Right. And in Jokic, I mean, you look at him. I mean, but he's smart. And that's why he's so unique, because he doesn't have the body type. He can't really jump. He's not athletic, but he's super smart. He's very smart, man. And I think Luka's the same way. He's a very smart player where your staff, that's what your staff is there for. You can't trade a guy like that, man. A guy that's like what they call generational, man. He's generational, man. You know him. Look, him, Giannis. Like who's like similar? And I'm talking about guys that you didn't know what you was getting, but once they got in the whiskey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tony Parker, Ginobili. Like, I'm talking about these guys that we don't know what they got. But once you see what they got, like, oh my goodness, we got something good here. You can't get rid of a guy like that, man. This guy was loved. I want to say it was something more personal than the conditioning, because that's what everybody's saying is conditioning. They worry about conditioning.
It was something more.
It was something deeper than that. It was something deeper than that, because there's no way you're getting rid of a guy like that, man. If his conditioning, look, we're gonna pull him to the side. Look, man, we're gonna need you to do this. We're gonna need you to do that. And he doesn't look like a guy that's gonna be on some funny shit. But you can't trade a guy that brought you to the finals single-handedly, man. I don't care. I mean, yeah, Kyrie got busy, but man, Luka, what he did against Minnesota?
No, OKC.
Oh, OKC. The reason why I think about Minnesota so much, man, because Minnesota came in with this hype. Yo, man, when he came, man, what he did to Minnesota, man, let me tell you, man, OKC would remember it was game 7. They took him to game 7. He got busy. But Minnesota, man, when he was barking at Gobert, barking at all them dudes, like, yo, y'all ain't got nothing on me. Y'all can't stop me. Yo, he was saying some shit, man. And yo, that man epitomizes the type of player. A guy like that, you just cannot trade away, man. Especially for not no bum ass Anthony Davis, man. I don't care, man. I don't care what anybody say. To me, Anthony Davis, his years are way behind him, man. And that was an awful trade. You're not gonna get nothing out of Anthony Davis. What you're gonna get out of him, you could get out of an average. And I look, man, Anthony Davis, he was a great player in his time, but that guy, the last time, that guy is the guy that won that championship with the Lakers.
Bro, if you
that bubble championship, that bullshit championship, you're not getting that guy no more. Because that's the only time I really remember him getting busy was in that bubble. I mean, with New Orleans, when he was with them, he had his time, man, but he's just not consistent, man. You know what I mean? He's like one of them guys that how good he could be, Stacks, but he's just not consistent enough for me to build my team around, Mm-hmm. Look what happened, man. You go to a Lakers, that bubble, forget that shit, man. That forget that shit. Whatever. They're gonna forget that shit. Yo, it's just after that, he didn't give the Lakers anything. The Lakers should at least won a legit championship with him. Him and LeBron, but he's just not that guy, man. Luka is that guy.
I agree, man. I just don't trade Luka. And then like you said, you could have fleeced 80% of the teams in the NBA for Luka. Like, you could have got draft picks, you could have gotten players. I mean, you could have set that team
way
up.
More.
Yeah, not only, but then you trade for Anthony Davis. That trade was to win right now, not in the future. You gave away your future, your whole future. You just say, "Hey, fuck it, I don't care." Yo, that GM. I don't know who talked, that owner. Mark Cuban wouldn't have let that happen.
Hell no, he wouldn't let that happen.
Like, you fucking crazy.
Hell no, he wouldn't let that happen, and he's not gonna say it either. All respect to the new owners, because he got that bag off of them. He's not gonna admit it, but man, it's just a horrible trade. And my whole thing would have been like, you got a 20-something-year-old here, and you got an ailing, because he's ailing.
Yeah.
30-something-year-old that he's not gonna give you what this young guy's gonna give you, man. You got so much with this young guy, man. He's the face of this team, man. He's the guy. He's the type of guy that's gonna bring tickets. He's gonna bring people to the seats. He's gonna sell tickets. And you can build around him, man. You could build around it. They like Kyrie. He would have had him in a way better position right now without Kyrie than what Anthony Davis is doing. Yo, man, what is it? The Matrix, man? You got for a second you had two like spots.
Yo, my fault, fellas. I just got home, man. It was my cousin's birthday too, and I forgot it was her birthday. So I just ran by there to say happy birthday and stuff real quick, but sorry to jump in so late though. What's going
man, it's
on?
all good, man. We we held you down, man. It's all good. We knew at some point you was gonna hop in, man, but it's all love, man.
Yeah, man. So what y'all talk? What's on the agenda? What y'all talking about, real
Man, we
quick?
talking about we on the NBA where we were just talking about how Dallas, they fumbled trading Luka, and this everybody getting ready for this playoff run. And man, how Dallas dropped the ball on that fucking trade, man. And Luka got busy his first game back in Dallas. He dropped 45
Yeah,
on him. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Yes.
so it's like, and shame on me for not making that going to the window with that, man, because I knew he was gonna get busy. Shame on me, man. I should have known better than that, man. I slept on that shit by the time I found out he was gonna play over there, man. But yeah, man, they fumbled on that, man, on that trade, man. And Stacks is right, man. They should have took a page out of OKC, man. With a guy like that, you gonna trade him, man. You better get everything in the kitchen sink, man,
That's
for that guy.
Yo, that to tell you the truth, and shout out to everybody watching on the YouTube side of things, Facebook and the Twitch side of things. Shout out to David Burns, man. David Burns, I don't know if you sent that email yet, man. We're gonna invite you on the show so you can chop it up with us one of these days. Send that email. But real quick, yo, Luca is me watching professional basketball and loving basketball. T Stack could tell you, and he knows it too. Luca's one of them generational talents that
Yo,
that's like them having Dirk in the heyday, like
here you
in
go.
Dirk's early. Like why would you get rid of the new Dirk, if you want to call him? You see what I'm saying? Like I
20-something
don't
year old.
understand that. That's like us getting rid of Tatum. Like it's
Yeah.
nonsensical. I don't think it
Which
doesn't
Danny
make no
didn't
sense to
do.
me.
Shout out to Danny, because they want it. There was, don't mean to cut you off. There was the whole Durant Tatum talk. Remember, it was hot.
No. It was never Durant Tatum, but Durant Brown. It was never
It
Durant
was
Tatum.
Durant Brown.
It
It was
It was
Durant
never
Brown.
Durant
Yo,
Tatum.
shout
It
out
was
to
Durant Brown.
Shout out to, remember, Trader Danny. That was his nickname, but he left us. He left us
Listen,
well off.
there was points of time during that time when Trader Danny was at the helms of stuff, and he was making, I was always the one, even back then, to part. I used to say, yo, let's part with 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 Brown. I used to say that, and even with, it happened. Marcus Smart, I knew there was the writing was going to be on the wall for Marcus Smart, but Brown, yo, I eat crow, like Stacks would say, on even thinking about separating that dynamic duo. Like, I think we got something good cooking. We shouldn't even, if we ever even thinking of touching or messing with that, that's crazy. The only way it would separate itself if either or, and I don't even think it would be Tatum feel like he has to step off, and that'll be
Nah,
Brown.
I think
You
you
see
gotta
what?
keep them two. You gotta keep them two
You gotta
guys.
keep them. We gotta ride it to the wheels.
Yeah, you gotta ride.
The
You
wheels
gotta
fall
ride
off.
that. I'm with you, Stone. You gotta ride that. And
The
I don't
wheels
know the
fall off,
narrative
man.
of people always trying to drive a wedge between them two. I never seen two superstars on the same team that people just try to make up bullshit just to drive a wedge between them two guys, man. So what? They don't hang together off the court, Stoney. So what? So
Right.
what? They don't do the same thing. So what? One got kids and one don't. So what? One likes to hang with model chicks and the other one don't. So what, man? So what?
And that's a good thing, because
Yeah, man. It's
think
like,
about it. If they're together all the time, and then friction could happen,
yeah,
believe it or
man.
not. You know what I mean? They got their space. They chill. We don't know every time they hang. They don't get followed like that. They probably chill on some low shit. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, it's like
They smart guys though.
So what? You got two dynamic players, man. You just gotta hold on to them two guys, man. I bet you Toronto wish they would have never broke up T Mac and Vince Stoney. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on, man. I mean, stop. All you hear is narratives about people trying to break up Tatum and Brown. Yo, shut up, man. This worry about what's.
I don't want that to ever. Me personally, now the way I see it now, they could win a lot of chips with just them.
They
two
got a
doing
window
that.
to win a lot of chips. They got a window. They got a window to maybe run off They can run off 3, maybe 4 chips.
They can run off 3 or 4. Yeah.
If they keep putting the right pieces around them.
Exactly.
Yep.
You got to keep putting the right pieces around them.
The right pieces. You hit the nail, and we have the right person for that. And Brad Stevens, we have the right person for that. And I'm confident in Brad Stevens to do that and to make that happen, you know, to try to really create this dynasty, so to speak, you know, and he can do it. He's the right guy for that. And it showed, because the critical moves that he made is the reason why we got that championship last year. And, you know, when we got rid of Smart, remember when we got rid of Smart, that was bold. That was a bold move, because
that was a bold
Smart
move.
was the cornerstone. He was that, remember, defensive player. But he knew that Marcus Smart had to go. And the pieces that he brought in after Marcus Smart, man, it took us to the top. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't easy to do. That wasn't easy to do, because I didn't see it coming, and I wouldn't have thought of that. I
seen it coming because of the play of D. White. Remember, D. White was coming off the bench. Yeah, and you had Pritchard coming off the bench. Remember, Beans Pate was making waves. Like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, if I ain't gonna play, get me out of here. Like, I'm not gonna. I'm good enough to go to another team and play. So I see. But then when we got Drew, that was just like the icing on the cake right there. I was like, I'll make that trade.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite acquisition, man. Believe it or not, that was my favorite.
You would think it would have been Porzingis. You would have thought it would have been Porzingis.
Well,
right?
Porzingis, Drew. But with his injury history, I was on. You know, I was kind of like hesitant. I liked it, but it was more like, if he stays healthy, it's a great trade. With Drew, it was no doubt that we had something good with his defensive prowess and his scoring. He won a championship, so he knows what it takes to win that championship. So hands down, I loved it. That, but Porzingis with his injury,
Drew is like a more headier Marcus, a smarter Marcus Smart, a smarter Marcus Smart. That's exactly what I say, and definitely more offensively. He takes way better shot selection than Marcus.
Yes, that's the you hit the nail right on the head. He takes way better shot selection.
Way better shot selection than Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart made, sometimes during some games he goofed up, you know. And not saying not saying he's not an intelligent player. I like Marcus Smart, to tell you the truth. But
we like
his
Marcus.
time was up.
That was my wife's favorite player, was Marcus. But
I love Marcus, man.
You know what I mean? His time was up.
He got his ring though. He got a ring though, right?
The NBA is gonna be good, man. I know there's a lot going on. I know there's more than just the Celtics.
Mark didn't get a ring.
Making waves
he
in these playoffs.
He wasn't on the squad.
Stacks. It's so funny. I know this is your favorite time of the year, because we just crept off of NCAA basketball with a good, how you would say, 3 weeks worth of some good, exciting ball.
We talked
on a college level. Now we're gonna jump right into the NBA playoffs, man. That shit's gonna be nice, man. We're gonna see some good competition out there. I just want to see. I just know from me, nobody's beating our Celtics 7. That's all I could say. And I'll take that. I'll take that to the window on Stony Crook's sports book. But I don't think in best of 7, if we have to fall asleep, we'll have to something would drastically happen mentally with this team for us to not.
Missoula's not gonna let that happen, man.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying.
He's such a
he's locked in.
Coach. So you know what he said?
In.
You know what he said about the Denver coach that got fired when they asked him about it? He said, I wake up every day.
I was listening a little bit.
Like it's my last day. He said, I wake up every day like it's my last day. That's my mentality. Yo, to give an answer like that, it just goes to show you the type of coach he is. He could have said anything. He could have been like, it was unfortunate. It happens, this and that. Yo, he put himself in that spot. Like, yo, I wake up every day like it's my last day coaching. That's the way I approach every day. And I'm like, wow, man, for a guy that young to be thinking that way, that just says a lot about the type of coach he is. So imagine his way of thinking. Imagine what he's pouring on to his players and what he's preaching to his players. Them guys are gonna be on another level, man, mentally, man.
Yeah,
So,
they like playing for him. They
great
like
coach,
playing for him. Yeah, they like
great
playing
coach.
for him.
It's my guy, man.
But yeah, yo, fellas, I'm only be able to stay on with you guys for a couple more. I know you guys probably got some talk about that championship, that awesome game against Florida Houston. And if y'all didn't already get into it,
Oh
y'all
yeah,
got into
we
that
got
already?
into that. Yeah, we
Oh
got
man,
into that.
I know that was a good game, man. That was
a great game. That's the best college game I've
great
seen.
game.
Best final
That was a
game I've
great
seen in
game.
a
I
long
feel
time.
bad. I don't want to bring you guys back into the conversation, but really do. I feel bad for Houston and the coach. I feel bad for those players, man. Those dudes in Houston are like dogs, man. Them dudes.
They had their opportunities, man.
Yeah, them dudes were those big men down low, man. Them dudes was nice, man. But hey, shout out to Florida. Stacks called it. It happened. He's called it from the beginning. Shout out to Florida. They did their thing. They just kept fighting. Cause you know what? To tell you the truth, I'm just putting my little 2 cents. Yo, the way Houston was playing against Florida, the way that game started and the way it was, and the way Houston kind of went out on a little bit on a run on them, yo, Florida could have folded, man. Especially with
Yeah,
a
they could have.
defense, the
Yeah, they
way
could have.
they could have folded. The way that defense was playing and the way, yo, them dudes was yoking, embarrassing dudes, yoking on dudes, man. Yo, that could have emotionally shocked them, but they just stayed in the game. But yo, shout out to both of you guys for holding down the team parlay with us. Shout out to Sean Doe. I know he's out there. Thanks for doing y'all thing, man. I will be back with y'all on Sunday, as you know, man. I'm heading out to the city again tomorrow. So because it's like, my family doing this thing now. So with the funeral for my grams. So I'll see you guys on Sunday and we'll chop it up and get into some new stuff going on. The
NBA
NFL draft,
playoffs
the
possibly. The
NFL
Magic.
draft is
Yeah.
heating up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The draft is heating up. That's going to be a big thing, and the starting of the playoffs is coming up. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So yo, hold it down, fellas. I'll see you guys in a few.
Yes, sir, man.
All
Thanks for
right
coming
then.
through, man. We'll catch up
All
with you.
right. We'll catch up. Peace. I'm trying to exit here.
Mr. Beans, that was Mr. Beans, people. Mr. Beans came through. Shout out to Mr. Beans for coming through, man. He had to do his caught up in his little situation, but shout out to him, man. He made that effort. He came through. He had his take on the NBA and NCAA, man. Shout out to Mr. Beans, man. But yeah, man. So I'm looking at the playoffs right now. Well, the standings. You know what? Listen, there's a couple of teams that I'm gonna. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think about? I'm gonna mention these teams: Detroit and the Clippers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Clippers, man. Be careful. If Kawhi's healthy, that's
if
the big.
Kawhi's healthy,
man. If Kawhi's healthy,
and is Harden gonna show up? Is Harden gonna show up? Because Harden did the same thing in Philly. He got busy in the regular season, and he hadn't beat. And when the playoffs came, he just did. He didn't disappear completely, but he wasn't around enough to win series against us. And I don't know the other series they lost, but he just did not. I think it was New York that they lost to. Because I know we beat them the year before, the year that we lost to Miami. But I know last year, I think they lost to NY. Yup, they lost to NY, and he was nowhere to be found. So that's the hesitant in terms of, is Harden going to get busy come playoff time? That's what everybody's like holding their breath with right now with him. Is he going to be the same Harden that's doing this thing now? Because Harden is getting busy. and you know, I haven't been watching him, but I've been watching his box score and his stats. He's been doing his thing. He's carrying that team. You know, when Kawhi's not playing, he's carrying that team. They're doing his thing. He's filling that void for the Paul George departure.
Last year, remember, he was on Clippers last year. Remember that last year? Who they lose to in the first round? Yeah, Philly did use the NY, but Harden wasn't on that team.
Yeah, Harden wasn't on that team. My bad. The Clippers, I forgot who they lost to last year, but it was a first round exit, so it was a disappointment.
Oh, no, what? That was the year that Luka sent their ass home. Yeah, remember?
Luka sent their ass home.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yep.
Luka said that was the first of like many upset wins.
That Dallas team went.
That was an upset.
They went through a gauntlet last year, man.
They went through a gauntlet, man. That's why people had their reasons to they don't like us anyway, but everybody's on that Dallas.
Stoney, they was the favorite.
They was the favorite. They was the favorite, and rightfully so, man, because they path was way harder than our path, and that's what they looked at. But they didn't know the type of coach we had, and they didn't know the type of players we had, and just the you know, that weight on their shoulders, that chip on their shoulders that we came in with, man. When people was talking about all that easy shit, that's why the series went the way it went. You know what I'm saying? So, but Harden, is he gonna people are gonna be on reserve? You know what I'm saying? With Harden, is he gonna show up in the playoffs? If that Harden that's been playing now shows up in the playoffs, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't show up, because there's no pressure on him. You know what I mean? I think in Philly there was kind of a pressure on him. He had Embiid. They had a boat, and they expected a lot from Philly, and I don't know if he was ready for that. That's all I could say. But now there's no pressure on them. What right now they sitting at number 5. People don't know if Kawhi's gonna be healthy. There's not too much expectations on the Clippers right now, and I feel like that's a team that could get busy low on the low. They could do their thing. They could do their thing on the low because there's no pressure on them, and I think they can make noise for you know, from the number 5 spot. They could hit an upset, you know what I'm saying, depending on who they match up with. So we're gonna pay attention who they playing in the first round. But Detroit, what do you think about Detroit?
Yeah, man,
they're still at number 6 right now.
Be careful with Detroit, man. Whoever get them in the first round, it could be the Knicks. It could be the Pacers.
It could be the Knicks.
It could be the Knicks, or it could be the Pacers. So we got to be careful.
They could beat the Knicks.
Yeah, I think they could beat the Knicks.
They could beat the Knicks. Detroit's playing some good ball, man.
If they beat the Knicks, Tony, New York is gonna be sick.
They're gonna be sick. Yo, that franchise, man.
First you lose Juan Soto, and then now you lose in the first round of the playoffs. When you made that Karl Anthony Towns trade to get you over the hump, come on, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad on that city, man. And yo, it's a lot of pressure in New York, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing that we underestimate, man. The pressure on these players, think about it. This is not a team that won 10 years ago or 8 years ago. You know, when you're a franchise that won in recent times, there's not too much pressure on you. I mean, yeah, they're expecting you to do some good things, but the fans are a little more relaxed. The city's a little more relaxed because we might have won 7 years ago, 8 years ago, you know, but these guys have not won since the 70s, man, since 72, 73. Half of us wasn't even born the last time the Knicks won. So you're talking about a fan base, a city, man, that's been hurting for the last, 30-something years, man, for a championship. And now they put a team together that they expect a lot from, at least to the conference championship, and then to bow out in the first round because you're gonna go up against a team that could take you out. That's a lot of pressure on these players, man. And these players, they could play all they want in the regular season. They can get busy, but come playoff times, that's when you know the real players, man.
Yeah, that's where you make your money at.
That's where you make your money at, man. Because you know something. So think about it. You can be an all right player in the regular season, but if you're that guy in the playoffs, if you're known to be a playoff player, yo, that'll get you some contracts. Definitely.
That's how Jimmy Butler got paid.
Jimmy Butler, Bruce Bowen. He's one of my favorite guys, man. Let me tell you, Bruce Bowen. You talking about a journeyman. You talking about a guy that was just nothing, man. But yo, when he got to San Antonio and he got on that championship run in the playoffs, because Bruce Bowen is a perfect example. He didn't really do much. Bruce Bowen. But come playoff time, he locked down that guy. Whoever that guy, somebody, they threw Bruce Bowen on him. And he would score when he needed to, but he was definitely a playoff. He was a playoff player. Come playoffs, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You got the Heat right now. You got the Heat and Bulls because it's the top 10 right now, and I guess that 9 and 10.
It's hard to really even talk about it till the play-ins over.
Yeah. It's hard, but we're looking at like now if the season ended now. You got the Bulls and Heat. Got the Raptors. They ain't really too much. I think the Heat and Bulls, they pretty much got that locked down in terms of making it to that. Because I don't know if the Raptors are going to do anything. The Raptors are way off. And if they did, they're not doing anything. I'm gonna go to the West real quick because we about to end it. Then you got the Kings and Mavericks. Suns on the outside looking in. The Blazers on the outside looking in.
The Suns, I don't even want to see them make the playoffs, though. I
don't want to see them make the playoffs either. I don't want to see them make the playoffs. But look, if the Mavericks make the play-in, because that's what they hoping for, I think the Kings will get in there.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Kings are actually playing some decent ball down the stretch.
Yeah, the Kings are playing some good ball. Timberwolves, I don't know, man. Them guys, they took a huge step back. Yeah, they up and down. Anthony Edwards, he's gonna have to mature a little bit, talk less. Somebody was talking about him the other day, like, yo, when you got some rings, you got some accomplishments, then you could talk, man. But until then, you keep working hard, you keep playing, and you come through, whether it's a championship or otherwise. Just be cool, because he's talking a lot, and I think he's a great player. He just needs to focus more on his game, focus more on his team, and just focus on just trying to be a better player and less talking. I think that too much talking, and he has to we could say this about a lot of players, but the threes, he's gonna have to slow that down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop backing up them threes because you're not. He's the type of guy that we need down in the post. Make some good passes, play some good defense. If you got those shots, okay. But I think he needs to make his bones in the post. He's a great jump shooter. He can score. He got moves. Play closer to the basket. And not jack up too many threes because that's not really his game. I mean, he can make them. Don't get me wrong, man. But I think he needs to be that guy. And more add more to his game. So hopefully he gets that together. And then the Warriors, man, what do you think with Butler? You think they can make a run? I mean, Steph
can get hot.
He got busy, but then he got shut down like the day after or some shit. But I don't put too much into that. But yeah, what do you think? They could be dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely could be dangerous. Any team with Steph's gonna be dangerous.
Yes, man. Man, that guy, he's incredible, man. He's incredible, man. And shout out to the Warriors, man. Think about it. They don't got nothing, I mean, they got that championships. They got what, 4? They won 4, right? They won 4. They won the one without Durant. They won the back-to-back with Durant when they beat up on the bum-ass Cleveland Cavaliers. When you talk about a team that had no chance, man, they had no chance. And then you had the 4th one, they won against us. So they did their dirt. You know what I mean? I feel like when you could put a team together through drafting and you could win 3 or 4 championships, it's a success, man. Anything after that's a plus, man. But it's a success. I even say back to back, it's a good look. Back to back's a good look. Don't get me wrong. You get back to back champions, that's a great look. You get 3, a superior look. 4, forget about it. You guys, dynasty, right there. If you don't win anymore, you guys are good. So shout out to the Warriors. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, man, good rundown.
Yeah, good rundown, man. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna end it there, T. Hopefully Sunday, when we get on Sunday, hopefully we'll have a clear picture. I'm trying to see the Sunday games. So it looked like, because the last game on, because Sunday's the last day of the regular season. The last game's at 3:30. So I think we'll have a playoff picture in terms of the playing. So
Yeah.
we could go through that on Sunday, as far as the matchups, and they're gonna have playoff matchups as well. It's just they're not gonna know who I think the number 1 and number 2 seeds is playing.
Yeah.
That's what the playing is gonna determine. But all the other matchups will be pretty much set. So we'll have some matchups to talk about on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, we want to thank everybody that came through. We want to thank my man. What's my man? My man from my man David Burns. My bad. I was so caught up, man. But shout out to David Burns from Texas. Shout out to all the viewers that came through, man, and joined us, man. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back Sunday, 7:30, hopefully, but we'll definitely be back Sunday. We'll be talking about playoffs. We'll have some matchups already to go over with you guys. We'll possibly have some bets, series wins, futures. We'll have a lot for you on Sunday, man. But yeah, thank you guys for coming through, man. And we'll see you Sunday. Stacks, man. Good looking, man. Great show today, man.
Great show, man. Appreciate you.
See y'all later. We
Peace.
out.
Yeah, God, to make moves. Doobie don't snooze. It's on your back, cause they hate you. Dog break through, son get through.